Hello and welcome to Com Chat. This is a weekly series where I go through articles that I found on the internet that I found somewhat interesting or relevant to the times, this one especially, and post my response to it in this one-sided platform here on YouTube. So let's get into it. This article from the Globe and Mail, Can the Radicalization of Incels Be Stopped?, takes a look at what incels have done over the past few years, going from Elliot Rodger to recently Alex Manassian, and taking a look at what the movement has turned into, and more importantly, how it can be stopped and how the radicalization of new members can be stopped. So, first off, it just goes through, what happened in Toronto, the van attack, the history behind incels, Elliot Rodger and Isla Vista, things that most of the people watching right now would already be aware of, right? I don't really take any issue with any of this. It's just an explanation, if anything, talking about the dysfunction in the lives of the typical incel, talking about their insecurities. This points to one case on Reddit where one of them talked about going to a therapy sessions that didn't affect him in any meaningful way, and that's attributed in the article to him not wanting to change in the first place, which I think is true in some cases. I think a lot of the time people who are in a bad situation won't accept change. So when they go to a place that's meant to change their lifestyle and change how they look at things, since they're not willing, they'll get no results out of it. That's fair enough. So, first, let's say quarter of the article, I'm fine with. Here's where it really starts to devolve. So, we should take a page from the anti fascists who have done so much to kick back against the so called alt right over the past year, not only by confronting the fascists in the streets, but also working diligently behind the scenes to take away their platforms online. This is the exact wrong response to the alt right or to incels as a whole, which, by the way, shouldn't even be put in the same breath. I feel like what they consider alt right is not nearly as detrimental to society as incels, but we'll get back to that. The problem with taking away freedom of speech is that the people who are already indoctrinated into an ideology such as inceldom or whatever you want to call it, they become more assured in their beliefs. They say, "Oh, well, the world really is against me. They're taking away the only bit of venting I have in the world, and they're making me suffer." And I think overall that'll lead to more of these tragedies happening, more of this Alex Manasseh, more of this Elliot Rodger stuff happening, where you have people who have nowhere to turn, they have no place to vent online, they have no community to share their thoughts with, and then these tragedies will become uh, more and more common, I guess, right? I don't see how censorship is the key to stopping this type of tragedy from happening. If you read the article, though, you'll see they talk about, well, it stops them from indoctrinating more people because you can't radicalize people if they don't have a platform. Okay, but at the end of the day, what you saw on Reddit, where they took away r slash incels, then they made r slash brain cells, and then people from Reddit, when they were getting censored too much, just went to incels.me. There's always going to be more and more platforms for these people to go to. And outright censoring people isn't going to get rid of them. It's only going to enrage them more to the point where these tragedies happen more and more. Another problem in the article is where it says the systematic effort to deplatform the alt-right online and offline has clearly contributed to the crumbling morale of a movement that only a year ago was riding high in the wake of Donald Trump's US election victory. There are a couple problems with this statement. One being that the alt-right isn't really the alt-right in this case. The left refers to anyone who disagrees with a more liberal ideology as alt-right, when really it's just a more conservative traditional viewpoint, such as the ones Ben Shapiro holds, Milo Yiannopoulos holding a little bit of a different viewpoint, but still under the same, Judeo-Christian values in some cases, quote unquote, asterisk, and someone who actually is alt-right being Richard Spencer, but they're all cupped into the same little group there, and they're all called alt-right. So that's the one part that's a little misleading about deplatforming the alt-right as if there's some boogeyman that they're all teaming up against. It's really multiple people with many different but similar viewpoints. The second issue I hold with this statement is that uh, The whole movement being a conservative, traditional viewpoint being thrust back into society hasn't really gone away. It's just that a couple of key players in the movement, being Milo Yiannopoulos and Richard Spencer, saying kind of questionable things. Um, Milo Yiannopoulos, in particular, talking about pedophilia and talking about his childhood experiences, leading to people pulling back because what he was saying no longer represented how they felt about the world. He was saying some personal stuff. So, this idea that a boogeyman has been defeated after the election of Donald Trump, not true. Just a few people with traditional viewpoints who have said some questionable things that are no longer considered mainstream figures. Milo Yiannopoulos specifically falling off. But this statement as a whole, misleading and in some ways just flat out incorrect. Alright, that's it for my thoughts on this article. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say, and I hope to read your thoughts and comments in the comments section below. I will link the whole article, even though I did go through most of it, in the description. If you have any feedback or just general criticism of my commentary or ideas, I'd like to read that too. I'm always open to improvement. Overall, if you enjoyed, I hope you give this video a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and if you want to suggest any articles that you want me to go through in the future, that'd be great. You can either personal message me or put that in the comments as well. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.